Oh, high school. It's been quite an experience. At the time that I'm making this video, I have a single semester left of it until I'm off to university. I know a lot of people who keep saying to themselves, just a few more months and I'm out of this place, as if their prison sentence would soon be up. But personally, I'm gonna miss this place when I'm gone. I've made so many friends here at Bishop Mac, and I've grown so much these past 4 years. Okay, maybe not physically, but mentally. I have so many awesome memories tied to this place that I'm sure that I'll remember forever. So, to commemorate my journey through my high school career so far, in this, my last media arts assignment, here are my top 3 best high school stories condensed into a short story format for your viewing pleasure. Yeah. So, first up is the tale of the perfect English exam triumph. Now listen, I'm not one to brag about my academic achievements, but whenever I think back to this story, I can't help but feel victorious. Not for winning the battle against the exam, but against the teacher. Now, I'm sure we've all had that one teacher who's not particularly fond of us, and for me, that one teacher was my grade 11 English teacher. For the sake of privacy in this video, I will call her Mrs. Crabapple. You see, Crabapple was a very strict teacher who wanted everyone to take her class very seriously, and I can respect her for that. But despite taking her class very seriously, she would constantly pick on me anyways. And she was very good at coming up with those clever comments to burn people. I think there's something wrong with this stapler. Maybe there's something wrong with the person using it. Anyways, aside from that, she seemed to have the impression that I just wasn't a good student, acting all condescending when she'd hand back a test to me, even though I got something in the high 80s. She only wanted what was best, and that was exactly what I planned to give her come exam season. When I had received my final report card for the class in the following semester, I compared my new mark to what I had before taking the exam, did the math, taking into account how much the exam was worth, and came to the conclusion that the only way that I could have gotten that high of a boost in English was if I had gotten 100% on the exam. I later approached Crabapple to ask her if this was the truth, and she stopped me mid-sentence, looked me straight in the eyes with her cold apple stare, and said, "Aidan, you did really well on your exam." As if she didn't want to admit that I'd completely blown away her expectations. But I had made her proud whether she'd like to admit it or not. Next up is a story that highlights my love for costumes. I love dressing up, whether or not it's Halloween. I've hosted the school's annual costume contest, volunteered to be the mascot on countless occasions, and hang out with friends who all share that same passion. But when it is Halloween, I go all out. And in my grade 10 year, I came to school on Halloween dressed in my homemade genie in a box costume. You know those fortune teller things that you put money into and it tells you about your future? Well, imagine one of those, but with legs. Upon arriving at school, I quickly noticed that not very many people had shown up in costume that day, and that those who didn't really put as much effort into it as I did. I got a few weird looks in the hallways, and classes were a little awkward. But nevertheless, I won that year's costume contest, and celebrated by riding home on the bus, still in costume. It was a fun day. And finally, the story that I shall end on is about me working on a media arts assignment. But not this one. This story is about the creation of a little animation of mine called The Creator. When I was given a project to create a short 30-second animation for my grade 11 media arts course, I got really excited and began working on it immediately. You see, at that time, I did not own a personal laptop that I could use to work on the animation at home. However, I was lucky enough to have a super cool media arts teacher who let me stay in the media arts room after school to add everything that I wanted to make my vision for the video come true. With all the extra time I had on my hands, I spent night after night making everything exactly how I wanted, giving it an amazing story, great visuals, and the end product turned out to be 6 times the length of what my teacher had originally asked me for, clocking in at about 3 whole minutes. This great result came at a few costs, however, as one of the nights that I spent working away at The Creator, I stayed a little too late and set off the alarm. At first I considered whether or not the school conducted fire drills this late at night, but upon further deduction, I came to the conclusion that it was time for me to go home. On my way out of the school, though, I embraced the fact that I'd probably get in trouble for this tomorrow and posed for some of the hallway's cameras. I am now banned from staying in the school past the final bell. But I got top marks on the project. And just like that, story time is over. When I move on to university, I'll be sure to remember all these stories, and I look forward to making more in the future. So for now, goodbye, school.